Hey everybody, welcome to Refined Performance. And in this video, I am going to attempt to cover my shifter console, not the whole console, this piece that I've been a little worried about trying to take out because I wasn't sure how to pop it out. Had a pretty good idea, but I wasn't positive. But in this video, I'm going to take that out and see if I can't cover it with carbon fiber. Make it look a little bit nicer. So, let me show you what I've done so far. Okay, this piece right here is the piece I want to remove. And remove this silver coating that kind of matches this part right here. And it kind of matches this right here. But I don't think personally the accents are right. I think this should be something different. Although this and this matching is okay, but to me this doesn't match anything else. Everything else is like the brushed aluminum and black. And this being silver by itself is okay. This being silver as a knob by itself is okay because these are parts that are not trim pieces, and this to me is a trim piece and just doesn't go. So I was a little, as I told you in previous episodes, that I'm a little intimidated by this car. I think my concern is I want to do stuff, but I don't want to break anything. And so I've messed with this several times, and I finally decided, okay, I'm really going to try to see if I can pop this out because I do believe that this pops out by itself. So I bought this set of trim and removal tools, and I took this piece and placed it under here and pried it up a little bit very carefully because I wasn't exactly sure if it came out that way. And it happened to come up that way. So now this piece is loose, and this boot here, this trim piece, I've popped it up out of here, so that'll pop up out of here. And I'm going to open this up and disconnect the buttons and however that works, because I actually haven't looked under there yet, but I'll explain that as I go along. So I'm on my way. Okay, that was even easier than I expected. So all the wires just unplugged. There are no catches or clips or anything like that. Let's see if I can prop this up. This plug stayed together, but it just slipped into this position right here. This piece just held it in place. And each of these plugs, this first black plug just unplugged from here, the white plug unplugged from here, and this second black plug, and I'm keeping them separated so I don't plug them into the wrong place, although I'm pretty sure that they're going to be different and I can't actually mess it up. But this third plug goes into there, and they are, because you can see the difference in the size from the two black plugs. So on that middle one has a channel. The top one has a little channel to the left. Right here has a little channel, so you can't plug it in wrong. This one has a little channel that goes up, and this one has a channel that goes down here on both sides, so there's no way you can plug those in wrong. And the blue plug goes into that. So this actually changes the shift point. This is the electronic damping control. This is the dynamic stability control, and this is the power button, adjustment button here. And one of the reasons I want to take this off is because of this little imperfection here. So because this is happening now, I get the feeling that it's going to happen in other places, especially as hot as it is here in Vegas. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to, as you can see, each of these buttons has a couple screws that hold them in. This one looks like it snaps into place. I'm going to remove these buttons and see what it takes to actually remove this silver coating that It looks like it's starting to come apart right there anyway. It may be more of a hassle than it looks. We'll see though. If nothing else, I may just cut a little slit into these pieces and try to get the little air bubbles out if that's what they are, and smooth these down and just put the carbon fiber over that. This might be a bit of an issue right here, getting the carbon fiber to sit into that spot without making it too tight for the boot to fit in there. But we'll see how it works as we go along. All right, so here we are. I thought I'd give you a progress report. All the switches are removed. These 3 switches had screws. This one was actually clipped on both sides, so you had to kind of pry it loose very carefully because you don't want to break any of the retaining pieces. See the little rectangular holes there on both sides? You don't want to crack the little housing there, and then the switch will be loose because this is the switch that toggles back and forth, that you can adjust the the shift speed, toggles back and forth this way. But like I said, wanted to give you a mid-project update, or actually probably about the 30% mark, 20% mark. So this is actually some type of very thin metal film that is over this, and it sticks very well, so it's kind of tough to peel off. So I'm not sure what causes it to bubble. Maybe the adhesive is not spread evenly, but it's interesting. It is a very thin metal film, almost like a chrome plating. So I'm not sure how that works on a plastic, on a piece of plastic, having that chrome type of plating on a piece of plastic, but that's what it is. So it's going to take a little while for me to peel this off and get it cleaned up to where I can lay the carbon fiber on it. So we'll see how that goes. All right, so here it is. This is the finished version. I have all the silver off, well, except for the part that's not going to be seen underneath. It has a little felt type of, I don't want to call it a seal, but it's a little piece there. I guess it's to keep from, keep it from rubbing or chafing or whatever along the console, since the console finish is brushed aluminum. But it took me a while. It took me a while to get all this I don't even know what it is. It's almost like chrome plating, but it's on plastic, so it's very similar. It was definitely metal. It wasn't plasticky feeling, except for the few pieces that were already starting to peel. It's like it was really thin in some places, and back here it looks thinner than what it did on the top. But there are some areas around here that took me a long time to get off of or peel off, because it was thicker and it seemed to adhere better, and there were some areas that were very thin and peeled off relatively easily. It did take me, I mean, I was sitting watching TV while I was doing it at the table, but overall time, it probably took me a couple hours to get all the silver off, and I got off the interior areas where other things need to fit into, around where the buttons, you can see, I peeled out a little bit down inside the button areas, except for this one, which I'm going to have to do as well. But this one doesn't actually have much of a lip. It just has the edge, and the button sits in there. These actually have a lip that you can see. These 3 buttons do. This one doesn't really have a lip. It just has the edge. So the chrome plating is off of the edge there. So this is where I'm at. So the next step is to lay the vinyl, carbon fiber vinyl on it. So I'm going to have to use a heat gun to get it down around these curved areas. I'll probably sand this down a little bit because most places it's very smooth. Sand it down a little bit to give it a little rougher, slightly rougher texture so that the vinyl can adhere better, and probably clean it off with alcohol or something that dries really well. And it doesn't leave any residue, so that hopefully once I heat the vinyl carbon fiber, it'll adhere down this way and I'll be able to make this bend in it, and hopefully it works like window tint, window film, but we'll see what happens. So just wanted to give you an update on where I'm at with this thing. I know it's all going to be in one video, but this is kind of elapsed time. This did take a couple hours. Pain in the butt, but I think it'll be worth it in the end. So, all right, we'll move on to the next clip, which hopefully I'll be able to flip over. Maybe I'll show you some of the process of me putting the carbon fiber on it, or I just might work on it and get to the completion part before I film again. It just depends on how much trouble it gives me, so we'll see what happens. All right, everybody, so here we are with the finished product. Bam! It's magic. No, it's not magic. So here's the deal. I bought this vinyl carbon fiber stuff that, matter of fact, I'll grab it and show you guys here. I bought this vinyl carbon fiber stuff online, and it looks just like this vinyl carbon fiber that is on this. Looks like I could have rolled this right off. Looks almost exactly the same, right? Well, this is not 3M vinyl wrap. This is 3M vinyl wrap. So what happened was I used that vinyl wrap 3 different times. I attempted to heat the wrap and make these, stretch it around this protruding piece here, and every time I heated it, it stretched every direction. I mean, it stretched like all over the place, so it wouldn't go back down firmly down here. I'd get it over this, and I'd get it stretching down here, and it wouldn't go back down cleanly over this. So I took it to a shop. I cheated. I took it to a shop, and I paid them $50 for the materials and for them to do it, because I was frustrated by then. But what the guy told me was I probably would have gotten it done myself if I would have had 3M vinyl wrap. So the lesson here is make sure you use 3M vinyl wrap. So, and I'm glad I did this, because now that I've gotten this back, there's some areas here where this chrome plating or whatever it is super thin, and I would venture to say that over time more of this would have bubbled up and I would have been really unhappy with it. But anyway, $50 later, and a couple of days later, there's the finished project with the buttons back in, ready to go. And I actually moved the DSC button down to here. It was in the middle, and I moved it down here because that's the single button that I use most often. Even though I don't usually use these buttons, I have it set, so I hit the M button and these all switch to the maximum. But occasionally I'll use this DSC button without using the M button. So I moved it down here to this first position, the closest position to me when I'll be in the car. So anyway, we're going to flip to the next clip, and I'll show you part installed. Okay, so it's a really simple process. I have the buttons back on there. The plugs go back into place. You cannot mess them up because each of the plugs is shaped differently, so they'll plug right back into place. even though I moved the DSC button down here, I can't get the plugs mixed up because the DSC button is white anyway. This one, the bottom one, the shift, the one that changes the shift speed and shift point is blue. The two black ones are different sizes. You can't mess it up. So the only thing I have left is to drop that in here and clip this loose harness into this spot right here. Then I slide this ring through the hole so it's on top and snap it down. Now when I took it to the shop to have the vinyl, have it vinyl wrapped by the experts, I took these clips off because I didn't want them to get lost. So one had already broken. The one, I believe, this one had already broken. But there are two that sit here, one here and one here. So what I did is I took the one that was here and I replaced the broken one up here. So there's only one down at the bottom when there normally is two. I'm not sure why they do that, but there's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. There's 5 clips all together. There's normally 6 because there's usually 2 down here, but I have 5. Still works out okay. And the next clip you'll see all back in. All right, there we go. Yeah, I like it a lot. I like it a lot. See, and I think that even though it's carbon fiber, I think that the black with the brushed aluminum trim console piece and then the black carbon fiber set in here, I think it flows better. I think it looks nicer. Yeah, that looks good. I love it. Really happy with it. Now, because this turned out as well as it did, I'm considering taking this and having this carbon fiber put on that. Not sure how well it'll stand up. I'm not sure if they'll be able to get the edges to fold over into those creases, but that would look good. We'll see. Maybe. But I really like that. That looks nice. You know, I may do these 2 center components too, or one of those center components. We'll have to see. You know, I like the brushed aluminum finish here, but I think what it doesn't give, it's a clean look, but what it doesn't give is that classy look of wood grain. And I'm really picky about wood grain, so I'm okay with the brushed aluminum look. If I were to get a wood grain, I would probably want a light, like almost a white color with a black wood grain going through it, so that we'd still have the contrast from the black leather to the trim to the black leather, so we'd have something light in between to give it contrast, but with the black wood grain in it to pull it together as well. So the guy who did this is checking to find out if there's any vinyl that has that look. He's never seen it before or heard of it before, but he'll let me know. So in the meantime, tell me what you guys think. I like it a lot. I mean, I like it a lot. And if you decide to do this yourself, or you decide to have someone do this for you as well, you saw that I took off all of the silver, all of this color that was on here, and it is metal, so it was a tedious task, but I took it all off, and I actually took it out inside, as far as I could, inside these cutouts as well. The guys did not wrap the vinyl into the cutouts, but the buttons sit up, so you really can't tell that much. But what I would recommend is make sure that they wrap the vinyl, because in this one they wrap the vinyl into this just a hair, probably 1/8 of an inch into into this opening, and I would have them do the same thing in all of these openings all the way around as well, because if you're not careful, then you'll see the ivory color poking through on the edge of the buttons. But mine came out really well. I'm really happy with it. So let me know what you guys think. Oh, wow, I guess we've been sitting here too long. That means I've been rambling too long. All right, guys. Well, there we go. All right, guys. If you like the video, please hit the like button. Subscribe. I'm going to be doing more videos. I have another one coming. I'm in the middle of hitting my 8,200 RPM red line, actually hitting it and not just showing you the moving red line and talking about it. I got a couple more clips to do to finish that one up, but that one will be coming out next. And then I still have to show you, do a tutorial on how to set the M drive and all the options that it has. But in the meantime, I am happy with the way this turned out. So I got to think of what my next little project is going to be. All right, guys. Thanks for watching.